your feet! I'm gonna tell you what's up!
Hey, Rustin?
Yes.
Hi, Geoff Tate with Queensryche calling.
Hey, how are you doing?
I realize I'm like 40 minutes late.
Oh, that's okay.
I had a very long-winded interview that just kept going and going, and he wouldn't end. And then I had one right now that I called, and I think I got the wrong number because I went to some sort of radio talk show that was like one of those real right-wing ones, you know?
Right.
And I didn't know who I was, and I was on the air, you know? I'm caller number 206.
But you've won something.
I didn't win anything yet. I would have stayed on and talked with the. So I think I have the number.
Good grief! After touring this long on the CD, you're still doing this many interviews a day.
Crazy. You got time to chat a little bit?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely. Are you finally going to get a few weeks of downtime for the holidays?
Yeah. Actually, my wife and I just got back from France 2 days ago.
Oh, nice.
And we're home for the short holiday here, and then we're taking off to Montana to spend the rest of the holiday with her family out there.
Oh, nice. I hear it's really beautiful there.
Oh, yeah, it's gorgeous. They live in one of the prettiest places I think I've ever seen in my life. It's stunning. There's no way you can even describe it. You have to actually be standing there. It's, over a mile high in the air, and
wow.
You can't breathe. That's kind of fun.
So,
I got a little time off. We're beginning in the studio just right after New Year's.
Right.
Working on the next album, so home for a couple months.
Nice, because you guys have been hard at work this year, and you guys have created some amazing musical masterpieces over the last 25 plus years. Is American Soldier the most gratifying for you personally?
Well, they're each very gratifying, and I think all of us in the band, we always feel very successful with each release because it's very difficult to get a number of people on the same page working for the same thing, and
right.
There's a lot of discussion and compromising and planning and on everybody's part, not just the musicians involved, but management and booking agencies. Everybody's got to work together and make it all work, and it's a great feeling when you finally make something out of nothing and then take it out and present it to people, and it affects them, and that in turn affects you, and you learn from it, you grow from it, and there's nothing like it. I'm really grateful, that I have this band and this way of working, creating stuff. I feel very grateful for that. Very fortunate.
Looking back over your career, what moments stand out most for you so far?
Career-oriented? I don't know if there's moments. It's probably not what most people would think. It's more of a, kind of like what I was saying earlier, about creating stuff together.
Right.
All of us, we just came right out of high school and started this band, and none of us got to go to college and further our education. That way we went on the road,
Right.
And I've toured the world and got a real first-hand look at how things work in other places. And I'm very fortunate I get to talk to a lot of people every day. I do interviews and have long, involved conversations with people in all these different countries we go to, and you learn a lot of stuff, about how things operate up elsewhere. And it becomes sort of a thing where you become, for me, I didn't realize I was really interested in sociology, and anthropology, but I am. I think if I hadn't been a musician, that's probably where I would have focused on, is I like studying how things work and how cultures evolve and how people put things together and make things work, and it's fascinating for me. I see patterns everywhere, and that becomes something that I write about that a lot.
were talking about interviews, and I know they're doing interviews like this. You were just talking about the ones that you missed and the long-winded one and everything. They're sort of a necessary evil in your line of work. But do you have a different view of interviewing after sort of reversing roles for the American Soldier Project?
Oh, yeah. I appreciate it a lot more because it's very difficult to talk to people and interview them about, well, it's easier when it's about technical stuff. Pretty much everyone is willing to tell you about their job, what they do and that kind of thing. But when you're talking to people about how they feel about something, then it becomes a matter of how do you ask the question, how do you skirt around it or make them feel comfortable enough to open up and tell you the deep stuff,
Right.
And that's what I had to kind of learn how to do making this last record, because that's what I wanted to know, I didn't want to know how it was to fly an airplane or drive a tank. I wanted to know how they felt about pulling the trigger, or how they felt when they were holding their friend as they lay dying. I wanted to know how that affected their lives and how they dealt with it and got past it and put it into perspective and learned from it. That's the stuff I wanted to know, and I had to figure out how to ask those questions. Scaring them away.
Hard to build that trust when you don't really know the person to dig that deep with them.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and I saw how the process of collecting these interviews took about 2.5 years, and it was a lot of hit and miss at first, and I put people off and scared them and was too invasive too quickly, and I had to learn how to ask the question.
Right. So now, how did it turn from a Geoff Tate project into a Queensryche project?
Well, I have a hard time drawing a line.
Right.
Where does one end and one begin, really? Queensryche has kind of been my life and my creative life, and so pretty much everything I do creatively has got something to do with Queensryche in some form or the other. I don't know. I just always approach the band with an idea, and this is kind of what I'm interested in right now, lyrically. How do you think we can make this work musically? How can we put lyrics and music together to paint this picture? And so far, I've been really fortunate and lucky that everybody in the band is very willing to stretch out and go with me.
When you took the album out on tour, obviously you did all these interviews over the course of 2.5 years and everything. But when you finally went out on tour and you had a chance to meet some of these soldiers or these families who are now impacted by your record, have they been coming up to you and opening up on the road and telling you their stories?
Yeah, quite a bit. It's really been an interesting project to be part of on a lot of levels. As a military kid myself, my dad was in the military, and so I kind of have a feel for it, although I've never been a soldier, so I don't know what it's like to go to war and to be in that situation. But I have the experience firsthand of how it affected my dad and how what affected him affected me, because he, being my dad, really was instrumental in shaping who I am as a person. And so his collective experiences, affect me, and my collective experiences, affect my kids, and it's all a big, long chain of events, But, we had some incredible live performances playing this album for the troops in various places around the world. And I remember one in particular at Fort Benning in Georgia, which is kind of a deployment central, for the Army. And we were playing the day before everyone was leaving to go to Iraq. And it was an outdoor show, very warm, nice day, and everybody had their families and their children. And it was really touching and very emotional show because everyone knew that this record and these words and these songs were about their experiences, whether experiences they were going to have or experiences that some of them have already had. And watching their faces and their body language and seeing them hold their children a little bit closer and hug their wives, before they left was, it was fascinating to watch and very difficult to watch at the same time from the stage. You can really see the music affecting people, and it being daytime as well. There's no spotlights in your eyes so you can really see what's going on, you know. Very emotional.